So today I want to talk about some updates that I've made to the Meditation of Movement patch. This is kind of a beta version. This is the third or fourth update I've done since I did the original video that showed the performance of the piece, or a realization of the piece, as I have done. I've added a couple of different manipulations to this to give me a little bit more control within the piece. One of the things that I noticed, while working in it, is that I didn't have a lot of control over when events occurred, or when events changed. I set it for a certain time period, but if I wanted to end that particular event sooner or later, I didn't have any control over that. So I've been doing research, and I found an option within the dp.connect abstraction, that allows me to send or to receive sound data within the Connect. So what that gives me the option of doing is actually triggering things using sound that I create. Now everything right now is kind of quiet so that I can make sure that I do the triggers. The triggers currently are set for me clapping. I am working with it to get it better. I would really like to try this in a more real environment, an actual stage, something like that, instead of in my home studio, because it's just too loud in this room when I'm running it. So that's the first big change that I have. The second big change is on one of the, I finally figured out a equation system for a rhombus, or a torus, a donut shape. So what I was able to do is change one of the events, the one where I had points that I could trigger and then manipulate the sound like a theremin within it. I revised that into a torus system, and I will show you a demonstration of that momentarily. And then from there, I have been working on rebuilding the patch so that it's cleaner, so that it looks better, and so that as a performer I can sit down and manipulate it a little bit better. I'm very excited to get this in front of actual dancers, and so we'll see what happens when that occurs. So for the demonstration mode, or for the demonstration, I've set this up in such a way that I'm able to control several of the parameters. So we'll go through each of the different events. I'll show you what's happening with them. Any point that I have changed, I will bring that to light as well. So the first event is the same. It's the 3-point proximity, which tests left hand, right hand, and torso, so that when I bring all three of them within a certain proximity, it triggers and it sounds the gong sound. And then this one I have not set up any kind of transition on. I really like taking time with that, and obviously we're already into the next section. The next section previously was a manipulation where when I brought my hands together, it would sound the gong, and then I could manipulate the pitch in space. So I can move up, I can move down. This one can happen anywhere in space, in vertical, or in depth space, in horizontal space, and then obviously the vertical space controls the pitch of the item. So this one is the first instance where the sound system works. And the way the sound system works is it determines the volume of the sound, the direction of the sound, and how certain it is of the sound, of the direction. So the direction and the certainty are kind of useless in this case. So what I've done is I've set it so that if the volume goes above a certain amount, it triggers the next event. The easiest way to achieve this is a clap. And you can see that the clap has automatically shifted to the next event. Now this one is the same event that has been there before. It's the flowing event that gives me the different areas and different sounds. Oh, I changed it. Dang, okay. So obviously I'm still working out the sound control. I have to turn volumes down a little bit to make sure that they work properly. This is the other updated version, updated event. This is the one that uses the torus shapes. And the original one, I had 4 points that I could reach out and hit. And whenever I hit those points, it started a sound, and then I could manipulate the pitch of the sound while it was sounding. What I've done with the torus shape is that's given me the option of, pardon me, putting the trigger points anywhere in a circle around me. So they can be out to my side, they can be out in front of me, they can be behind me, they can be anywhere as long as I hit that certain space. And then once I've triggered that, I can move in space however I want. And that gives me a lot more control and a lot more option. And then I can shift over to the final one. And I like this because what it ends up doing is I inadvertently trigger the last sound, the event 4 sound, and since my hands are not moving, it just sits at its normal space. So that's the updates. The next video will be a realization of the piece, hopefully. So